As I was recording the message from yesterday, I just was reminded that there was this analogy that I once used, like a chisel or a sledgehammer. If you want to break down a wall, which one would you use, right? And of course, the sledgehammer did faster. It made the job faster, right? But it was a lot more rough. It was harder, maybe took more energy, right? Whereas a chisel, you can probably get a little bit more fine details. But if the goal was to break down the wall, you're more than likely to pick a sledgehammer. And I use the example of painting the wall. You're probably gonna use a paintbrush or a roller rather than a toothbrush to paint your walls. Maybe for the details, you might want to use the paintbrush or the chisel. But to get the most done in the most amount of time, you use the bigger tools. And there are a lot of things that we can do that are the bigger tools to get the job done quicker. But they, again, are rough tools. They get majority of the work done. And then probably when you get closer to your goal, you start to go with the finer detailed tools. And those are the details in your plan, right? So when we're looking at the big rocks, those are the sledgehammer, those are the paint, that's the paint roller. And then when you get closer to your goal, you're gonna start worrying a little bit about the details. And we only want to get as detailed as we absolutely necessarily do. So say that another way. I don't want to make it any more complicated than it needs to be. I want to be as simple as possible, as quick as possible. I want you using the sledgehammer for as long as possible. I want you using the paint roller for as long as possible. And then as we get closer to your goal, maybe instead of a sledgehammer, we use a smaller hammer. And maybe not the chisel. I don't want you to have to get to the chisel unless we absolutely have to. And in terms of your plan, that's some of the details in terms of the timing of the day, the type of macronutrients, all that kind of stuff, the sets and reps, like the specifics of everything. And so what I want from you is to, for as long as we can, we use the bigger tools, the big rocks, and we only get detailed as we need to. We only get into the smaller tools as we need to. And hopefully, we don't have to get into those tools, but maybe we do. And at that point, we'll talk about it. But for now, I want you to think about getting the tools, using the tools that will get you to your job a little bit quicker without having to put extra effort, without having to be more complicated for your life.